Three stories moved through the AI conversation on X in the last day, and each one comes down to the same question. Who is actually in control? Control over your data, control over your understanding of the tools you use, and control over what AI can produce on your behalf. Let's go through them one at a time, grounded in what's actually being said, not what's being assumed. First, Gmail. According to a post from Isa Coder, Google's AI is now scanning all Gmail content by default, and that includes attachments, not just message text. This isn't a new opt-in feature quietly rolled out for power users. It's default behavior, and it's already sparked significant backlash, along with a class action lawsuit based on what's circulating. The post also notes that users can disable the scanning through account settings, but the fact that it starts on, not off, is the part driving the reaction. Here's the concept worth understanding. Default on processing means the AI is reading through your inbox and your files as a baseline condition of using the service unless you actively turn it off. For builders and enterprises operating in the EU, this is a useful stress test. It shows exactly what a US-based cloud AI provider considers acceptable default behavior around sensitive data, attachments included. The lesson isn't just about Gmail specifically, it's about consent architecture. Sovereign infrastructure isn't a compliance checkbox. It's a design decision about whether processing starts as opt-in or opt-out, and this case makes that distinction concrete rather than theoretical. Second story, a Stanford lecture that went viral for explaining how large language models like ChatGPT and Claude actually work under the hood, shared by Efo El Garaihi. The post frames it as more worth your time than typical streaming content, and the engagement numbers suggest a lot of people agreed. The lecture reportedly breaks down the internals of these models in accessible language, moving past the usual black box framing that treats these systems as magic. The concept here is straightforward, but important. Understanding how attention mechanisms and training actually shape model behavior gives you a working mental model, instead of a vague sense of what's happening when you send a prompt. Why does this matter beyond curiosity? Because regulatory pressure in the EU, particularly around explainability requirements, is pushing organizations toward needing more than surface-level familiarity with these systems. Teams that understand the mechanics, not just the API surface, are in a stronger position when they need to explain, audit, or defend model behavior to a regulator, a customer, or their own leadership. Literacy at this level stops being optional once explainability becomes a legal expectation rather than a nice-to-have. Third, and this one's about creative production. Etekhala shared detailed prompt examples and a demo video for a model referred to as Seedance 2.5, showing what's described as frozen time plus rewind effects inside photorealistic 30-second scenes. The post frames 30 seconds of coherent AI video as something of a new baseline. Worth being clear here, this is what's being discussed and demoed publicly, not an independently confirmed spec sheet from a developer. So treat the specific capabilities as reported rather than settled fact. The concept worth understanding is the prompting technique itself, structured prompts that control temporal effects, not just scene content, within a single continuous shot. That's a meaningfully different skill than typical single-frame image prompting. Why it matters. If coherent 30-second generative video becomes reliable rather than a novelty, that changes the cost calculus for media and advertising teams across Europe who are deciding whether to build in-house generation capability or keep relying on external cloud tools. But it's worth connecting this back to the first story. The same questions about where footage, prompts, and training data are processed and stored apply just as much to video generation tools as they do to your inbox. Sovereignty questions don't disappear because the output looks impressive. So here's where that leaves us. Gmail's default scanning is a live example of what opt-out by default looks like at scale, and it's a useful benchmark for anyone evaluating their own data architecture decisions. The Stanford lecture is a reminder that technical literacy about how these models work is becoming a practical necessity, not just an interesting rabbit hole, especially as explainability requirements tighten. And Seedance 2.5 shows the creative and production side of AI moving fast, while carrying the exact same data handling questions as everything else in this space. 3 different stories, one underlying thread: control over data, understanding, and output. That's what to watch this week. If you want the grounded version of this conversation delivered weekly, the AI Signal Brief is free. And if your team is building with AI and needs to think through sovereignty from the ground up, AetherLink offers a free consult. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.